Alright, so yeah, there are basic datums which we should follow when we do articles. We need to focus on keywords, and the ideal scene for each article should focus on one keyword, one or two keywords. Alright? So that's the ideal case. Now there's various places in each article. Let me know if I lose you here or if it gets too complicated. But there's strategic places that you want to put the keywords. First of all, the number one thing you should do is find out what the keywords are. Right? So step one is to go to Google and do a keyword search on the keyword tool, right?
Okay.
And I'll put images in the video so show an example. Now when you go to the Google keyword tool, there's specific things you want to look for too. You want to look for exact match. Alright? There's three different choices you can have. You can have, there's three different choices on the left side. You want to make sure you check exact match. And don't worry about the other ones. There's broad match, which is just, it's a broad term. You want to check the exact match. And the other thing you want to do is you want to sort it by local search number. So there's two different sets of numbers. You have global and then you have local. Global would be on the world, across the world, how many searches you have, and then you have local, which is in the US. So we want to focus on local searches, and you want to sort by. If you click the little arrow on the thing, I'll add pictures to give you mass on that, but you click the little arrow, it'll sort it by the top searches locally to the lowest. So you want exact match and you want to sort it by local searches. So that way you have the top keywords. It's almost like a survey. It tells you what the most people are looking for locally. Top keywords sorted by local or in the USA, we're saying.
Now, why are we doing just that instead of worldwide?
Because we want to focus mainly at home. Because, you may have a ton of people in India who may be searching for a specific type of car, but, our focus, and our clients will all be in the USA.
Most of them are US now anyway.
Right. US based, local, California, whatever. So we want to sort it by the top searches in the USA. Alright? So this is number one. Now, there's three places to place keywords in an article. First place, actually there's four places I should say. Four main places you want to put it. And the first place is in the URL. So once you have the keyword, let's say for example Tesla, right? Number one is Tesla S. Let's say it's the top search. And you know what? Let's make it Roadster. So we found the top search in the US. It's Tesla Roadster. Alright? So now that we know this is the top search, we're going to focus our article on these two words. Alright? So now over here in the URL, we want to name it My Perfect Automobile. auto.com/Tesla-Roadster. So you want the keyword to be in the URL. Now search engines pay a lot of attention to this URL.
Okay, but My Perfect Automobile is on there anyway, right?
Right.
And the title?
Yeah.
After each title of the thing is.
We're talking the /Tesla Roadster.
So we have to add the slash and the Tesla Roadster after that.
Right. In WordPress, it gives you an option of what you want the URL to be.
Okay.
You don't want to have too many hyphens in it. WordPress automatically puts hyphens. Ideal is 3 or less hyphens in the URL, but you definitely want the keywords to be front loaded. So you want Tesla-Roadster in the URL. So that's the first place, right? 3 or less hyphens is good. You can what's called mash. So say if you say if your article is Tesla Roadster let's just say for example Tesla Roadster News is the name of your article, or let's just say Tesla Roadster press releases. Give me an example of the title using Tesla Roadster. Tesla Roadster crash testing or something, right?
Yeah.
It'll automatically hyphenate every word in there.
You don't have to do that when you're putting that in the title.
Right. It'll automatically do that.
Okay.
Crash test. So you want to have 3 or less, ideally 3 or less hyphens. Google will treat a hyphen as a space. So here's 3, 1, 2, 3. Or if you have a super long title, you can mash them together. So you can put all these words like that. Tesla Roadster crash test. All mashed into one word. And Google does a good job of locating words that even if they're mashed together. Alright?
Okay.
So that's the first place you want. In the URL. So put it here. URL. Keyword. Alright? So you want it in the URL. Here. Alright. 2. You want keywords to be front-loaded in the title. And the title is one of the most important places to put it. Put keywords, right? Reason being is because when I say front-loaded, every person who talks about you in social media, Google or Google Plus, Facebook, Twitter, anybody who links to your page is most likely going to link using the title. And that's important because Google looks at what words are pointing to your page. So, in other words, if you go share to Facebook, right, you hit that little share button, you press that share button, the little number comes up, tells you how many times it's been shared, or whatever. Every time you click share, it automatically pulls the title over to Facebook. And then that link goes back to you saying Tesla Roadster. And Google looks at that and they go, oh, this article, people are talking about this article using these keywords. So the most important place to put the keywords is right at the front of your title. So if you're talking about the Tesla Roadster, you always want to say Tesla Roadster News, for example. So you want to do Tesla Roadster hyphen what you're talking about.
Yeah, so you wouldn't want to put crash test done on Tesla Roadster.
Right.
You
want it front loaded. It's first one is first most important. Second word is second most important. Third in that order. That's how Google treats it.
Well, interesting.
Yeah. And if people are talking about you, it's gonna be front loaded. Google's gonna know that's what you're talking about. So the third place put keywords, once you already know what the top search is in, it's called the H1 tag. Now, it's like the header tag. So, believe it or not, the title on our site is H1.
Oh, okay.
Is the H1 tag. So, the way code works is you have H1, H2, and H3. And you have a header. It's basically like a book. You know, in a book you have the title of the chapter. But you have the title of the book, you have the title of the chapter, and then you can have subsections of that. So the way code works is you have what's called an H1, H2, and H3. Alright? So the simple code for adding these is a little arrow bracket like that. Starts with an H1 and it ends with /H1. That's just how code looks. Alright? So if we were to go into every single page and we added keywords in the H1, which is automatically at the front, we front loaded the keywords. We added it in the H2 tag. We added it in the H3 tag.
Those are all different pages.
These are all on the same page.
Why are you calling them H?
That's on WordPress, right? That's
Right.
We're putting the thing in on WordPress. It'll have that.
Right. So, just to clarify, every page should have an H1, an H2, and an H3 tag.
Oh yeah, that's right. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the second place, so if the title is the H1 automatically, we're making sure that it's front loaded, right?
Yeah.
Just let me know if I lose you. Because, you know, if I say something, you might go blank after.
Yeah. Well, the H is. I
H
get
stands
back
for
on
header.
why we're going. You need to have the keyword on the headers too. So you have to
Yeah.
add in the code so it'll do it to all of them.
Right.
Okay.
You want to put in an H1, H2, and H3, and you want each of those to have the Tesla Roadster in
Okay.
it.
All right.
So, for example, you have the title, which is the H1. So then you want the H2, which would be the subtitle, right? And the last one would be, well, I'm actually just going to put H2 and plus H3 here. So we want those tags, and we want them to have Tesla Roadster in them as well. Alright?
Okay, so the H2 and H3, you have to create that on the article itself, or just in the
You have to create
setting up of the.
You can go into the text and separate it. Like H1 paragraph, right? Usually it's like H1 is the title. That's the top of the page. You know, Tesla crash test done. H2 is Tesla Roadster safety features. Gives information about that. H3, Tesla Roadster brake test. Gives information about that. So that's how you do it. So what you can do, you know the article is in regards to the Tesla Roadster. You do a keyword search, it gives you 100 results with all these, and you pick a different keyword for Tesla, like Tesla X, Tesla Roadster, and separate them. You know, Tesla X goes in the title, or Tesla Roadster goes in the title, Tesla X goes in the H1, Tesla S goes in the H2, like that. You can alternate keywords.
Okay.
If you want to focus on, on that one search. So I'll put together like an example of me doing this, so you can watch how I do it in an article, and I'll add that to the video. Alright, so last point is to add an image.
Gosh, that Bob's not here. Love this.
Yeah, you can watch it. To add an image plus video plus, if you can, an infographic. You know what an infographic is?
No.
An infographic is like an image that share room. So if you have like a Tesla Roadster crash test, it'll have like impact versus speed, and it'll have like all these stats on it. It's just an image that has all these stats. It's called infographic.
Okay.
We found that if you had, on press releases, if you had an image, a video, and an infographic, you got 80% more views, more shares.
Wow.
If you had just an image and a video, it was like 60%. If you had just an image, it was like 40%. And then if you had just text, it was like 20%. So
wow, no
it was
wonder.
like incrementally greater reach on press releases.
Okay, so how about on WordPress when you do your article?
Yeah.
You say that you can test it to see how it scores.
Yeah.
Does that have any validity?
That is very good because it tells you the length of the title. It's a plugin. It's called the Blog Glue SEO plugin.
Yeah. But you can get an A+ without a video or a stat graph.
Right. That's just length, like the ideal length. There's all kinds of other things that go into this, but these are the main 4 points. One, your URL should have keywords, right?
Yeah.
This is just for where you want the keyword to be. You want the highest search, right?
Yeah.
You want to front load the title, which is also known as AKA H1. Title is header 1. That's the way it works. It's like cascades. Header 1, header 2, header 3, right? Mm-hmm. So you want keywords in the title, front loaded. You want keywords in the H2 and H3 tags. Then you want image, ideally label Tesla Roadster as well. So you want the keywords in the image, you want the keywords in the video, and you want the keyword in the infographic.
How do you label the image?
I would label it, depending on what it is, if it's a Tesla Roadster, shows a Tesla Roadster crashing, I would say Tesla Roadster crashing, also front loaded. Tesla Roadster crashing. And if you can, put a caption on it. So you want a caption underneath the image saying Tesla Roadster. WordPress lets you do that.
Okay.
And now WordPress will give you all kinds of options for the image. You want to fill out every single one of them. So with the keyword Tesla Roadster crashing, Tesla Roadster crashing, Tesla Roadster crashing.
In the description.
Yeah, you just copy and paste it into all 4 of them. And that's how you do it. And now you're focusing, each page will be highly targeted for Tesla Roadster. And Google will say, wow, this is really relevant. It's got an image, it's got a video, it's got the ideal length. Last point. Ideal length of articles is 1,000 words.
How much are ours?
300.
That's just ideal. Because if you look at it, there's short tail. Like I was saying, there's two. Usually when you do a keyword search, it only returns the 2 words.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of people who do 3 or more words searches, which is called long tail. Tesla Roadster prices, Tesla Roadster images, Tesla Roadster blah blah.
Yeah.
So chances are that in those 1,000 words, you're going to have all kinds of long tail search terms that are then going to read for Tesla Roadster. And you're going to get all kinds of other traffic on the less competitive, but more, it gives you basically 1,000 times 1,000 ways to be found in search engines. We good?
Yeah.
Cool. Any questions on this?
No.
Well, it's coming up with 1,000 words when you're writing about something. So if you take, because what I do on some of the articles is I'll find information about that and I'll cut and paste it from another article that I find somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's exactly what you should do. As long as your article, like what I do usually is I'll write 3 paragraphs
Yeah.
and then I'll look for a press release from the company. And then I'll go through the press release and maybe I'll take out a paragraph. You want it to be at least 50% different. You know? And you can even put in
So 500 words of your own is fine?
right.
The other 500 is somebody else's?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Do a search for a press release, add it to the bottom. It just increases that, your article that much more.
Yeah.
Adds the other 500 words maybe to the article.
And then, where do you get the image?
The image, I look on Google. I look for, what I would recommend is if we find images that we can buy for like $1. I know some good sites that you can get. Or if you look for what are called screensavers offered by the company, like Tesla has all kinds of Tesla screensavers. So just do a search in Google for Tesla screensavers.
Your Google Images.
Desktop, yeah. And then copy it, save it using these words when you save it.
Okay.
Tesla Roadster.
And how about where do you find the infographic?
The infographic, that might be hard for you to do. I can help do that. I would just say if you add 2 or more images, it's better.
Maybe what we could do, instead of one person, I know this is just an idea, so if we had an assembly line,
Yeah.
so that we start with the person that puts the article with the press release, goes to the next person, image and video, next, and then final to you, you add the infographic, boom, onto the site.
Yeah.
And so we could get a lot of volume going, because part of it is that it's all over the place looking for stuff. So if one person does one thing and gets it done, that's all I have to think about.
Yeah, I know, but see, Larry Bell does his own, and he puts his own up, right? Because he's pretty much...
But he's doing 300 words. Now he has to do
I know,
close
I'll have to increase it.
Now, one thing we can do, which we could just go through, I don't know, can you get this section over here?
You're good.
Okay. So you have,
You have to stand to the side.
if we go through all these pages, yeah,
Yeah, like that.
obviously, and we go, okay, this article, so we have 3,000 articles right now, right, on our site? Or 3,000 pages, I should say. 3,000 pages right now. So, if we then look at each page, we go, okay, what is this regarding? This is regarding Tesla X. Let's say. This one's regarding Tesla S. This one is regarding Tesla batteries. Alright? Then we go, okay, let's do a keyword search for each one of these. So you want each page, now this is called page theming. So you want each page to be focusing on 1, 2, or 3 keywords, right?
Yeah.
So you go, okay, so now we're going to theme each one of these articles. We're going to see what people are searching for the most, which is, if it's Tesla Roadster or if it's Tesla X, maybe it's Tesla X prices. And so we go into the article, we go, oh, let's add a section here regarding Tesla X prices. And we put an H3 tag in there. We add all these points to every single article. We can just go through, and that's probably what I'll do, is go through each of these, add the keyword to the URL, make sure it's front loaded, add an H2 and H3 tag, add an image, video, and an infographic.
We should check.
So if all we're doing is if
We
we're
should
changing
check
and modifying the articles that are already on the site.
Right. And we're getting them all to ideal.
Yep.
Okay.
That will
pump the viewers.
pump the viewers,
It will.
and that will basically increase
Yep.
all the pages to ideal, and that will increase traffic tremendously.
Okay, so just because we put up an article today and the maximum viewing, I'm just hypothetically thinking, okay, most people are going to go on it in the next few days.
Right.
And then it becomes old news, and then who
Yeah.
Right.
would be interested in it, right?
Yeah, what about
Except it
that?
goes into an archive,
Right. The
right?
page is still there. Google still crawled it.
Yeah.
You can even add more info to a page, and that'll give it a boost.
And then that'll give them a requal. Do they requal any changes that are on it?
Right. Well, usually when you change the URL, it'll add, it'll change it to a new page.
Oh, I got it.
So,
okay.
But we want to make sure the old page, there's a plugin that I already put on there called redirection.
Yeah.
So if you change the URL at all, any links going to the old URL are going to be lost. So if we change the URL, which I have a plugin that automatically forwards it to the new URL if we put the keywords in the URL.
Oh, okay.
All right. So there's a plugin that takes care of that, and it'll automatically redirect any links to the new page, to the new URL. That's basically what Google does, so you understand, is it scans the page and it goes, this is basically the #1 word that comes up on this page is blah. So this is primarily about blah. So that's why you want to add it to all these places, right? And it'll go, this is primarily regarding the Tesla Roadster. And then it'll go, okay, the second word it primarily focuses on blah, third word, fourth word, lists them all out.
Right.
So this word comes up 20 times the most. This word comes up 5 times, less. This word comes up less, and it kind of lays it out like that. But
Wow.
so
Great.
yeah.
It's gonna work.
So if we theme each page based on the top searches, and you want it to be relevant, obviously if the article is about, let's just say a Ferrari, you don't want to put in like, say Ferrari. You don't want to put like Tesla in the title. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure your keyword search is relevant to what that page is talking about.
Couldn't you use journalism terms, say Tesla versus Ferrari?
Absolutely. But what you're going to do is you're going to kind of look at the page and go, okay, what is this page regarding? And it'll say, okay, it's a new Ferrari goes green, or something. So you're going to do a keyword search for Ferrari, and maybe you'll see the top one is the Ferrari F50. It's the top search or something. So you'll say Ferrari F50 goes green.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how you do it. And then you go into you put an H2 tag in there, or a header 2 tag. You say Ferrari F50 press release or something, right? And then you end the tag. And I'll show how to do this in my video too. I'll show you how to write this. It's real simple. H2/H2. Like that. And then here you front loaded Ferrari F50 again. Press release. Drop in the press release here. Alright, and then maybe have H3, goes in that order. Ferrari F50 news, just for an example, right?
Yeah.
H3. And that will basically, and then you add a video in there. You can even go to just do a search in Google, just say what's the coolest Ferrari video, or the Ferrari F50 video. Grab the code, drop it in there. Then you have a video, and then you add a couple images of a Ferrari F50, all labeled Ferrari F50.